Chief, retired, New York City Fire Department, Jim Riches. My son Jimmy was a firefighter on 9/11, and he was assigned to Engine 4, and he died on 9/11 in the North Tower. I became a firefighter in 1977. I just graduated from college, and was born, bred, and raised in Brooklyn. My mother's still here, my whole family's here, and my boys are here. I love the fire department. It was such a great job. The camaraderie in the firehouse, everybody looking out for each other. And the families became so close together. All the fire families, picnics, parties, and everything else. It became a way of life, actually, and I was very proud to say that I was part of it. And my sons grew up that way, too, and they knew all the other fire families. And I did 32 years in the fire department before I retired, and I could say that I was glad to go to work every day. On September 11th, woke up that morning. I knew my son Jimmy was working. His 30th birthday was the next day on September 12th. I went for my run along the shore down by Brooklyn under the Verrazano Bridge, and the planes had hit the towers. I went home, turned on my TV set, and I knew Jimmy was going to be down there. He was working right around the corner from the World Trade Center at the time, and I said, oh boy, he's going to be right in the heart of the biggest fire New York City's ever seen. I said, I'm going to go down there. I called my son, who was a police officer. I had a police car come, and they started to take me into Manhattan. As I came over to the Brooklyn Bridge in the police car, the second tower collapsed, and I knew he was probably dead because, you know, those buildings, he was going to be up there, way up high, because he was one of the first companies there. And we drove around by Jimmy's firehouse. I saw his little car there. He had a little Mercedes convertible. The top was down. There was dust everywhere in the air, and I said, he's there. And then I saw another friend of mine carrying a body, two of them carrying a body of one of the firefighters, and one of the other guys carrying their head. And I said, this is, you know, that was the start of my horrible day. We stayed down there, digging through all the rubble down there, going through holes, looking for people to survive. And we had a lot of caverns, a lot of holes, and we could get down. And we thought we were going to find people, but everybody was dead. Everything was just crushed. And we saw fire trucks that were 12 feet high, were a foot high now. You could put them in your pocket. From 9/11, 01, till May 30th, I spent my entire time down there leading the search and recovery and picking up the bodies. You'd have people digging all over, going through different little tunnels and little pathways, and you'd get below, and somebody would yell silence, and they'd want quiet throughout the whole area because they thought they heard someone yelling for help. And every time the whole place would go silent like a church, and you know, you could hear your heartbeat, and it became eerily quiet, and then no one would answer. My thing was, I told my wife, I said, he's passed, and now we just have to find his body. And I know that if he want me to come and find and help bring him out of there. So that was my mission, was to stay down there and help others, you know, to find him and to bring the bodies home of all the people that died. On March 25th, 2002, we recovered my son's body. We had found the helmet. My son's helmet was crushed, and he had the 114 on it, and he had his name on it. So we knew he'd probably be nearby. With that, a whole crew of us got down there on our hands and knees, and we dug, you know, with our hands. And we wrapped his body in an American flag, put him in a body bag, wrapped him in an American flag, just like we did all the people that died down there. We wrapped them in American flags, and we put them on the stretchers, and we had a procession out. And we lined up all the men. Everybody stopped. There was no digging. There was complete silence. And we marched them up the ramp. My three sons came, and we helped carry Jimmy's body, you know, out of the pit down there, which was like, if you had to say if it was anything, it was like Dante's Inferno down there. It was like hell. And we brought him up the ramp and got him out of that horrible place, and at least brought him home, and we got to bury him. It's very, you know, gave me a good feeling to find his body. I mean, it sounds pretty strange. I'm one of the lucky ones. I found my son's body because there were 1,000 families that never recovered anything. Some families got pieces, some people got little pieces, some people got half the body. People don't understand that. We keep getting phone calls, you know, at any time, and they'll say they found another part. I mean, so it lingers on. It never ends. The pain is always there. There'll be no closure because my son's not going to walk back in that door. And we miss him on every holiday. We miss him on every party. We miss him when my grandchildren were born. He wasn't there, and he's not there. I was very healthy. I was always running 5 miles a day. I'm a health nut, and I don't smoke. I don't drink. So I was in great shape. And after 9/11, I heard some guys were getting sick. You know, they weren't feeling good. They had runny noses, the cough, and I was like, you know, I don't have anything. I was down there for so long. But I got sick in 2005. Our pulmonary function dropped drastically. I went into a coma. They told my family I had 5 hours to live. The air wasn't going into my lungs. I had acute respiratory distress syndrome, bilateral pneumonia, double pneumonia. The air wasn't going in. And they said, get your whole family together because he's going to die. And they all got together. They prayed, they hoped, and I think my son set me back. He probably figured I'd ruin his fun up there. And I'm sure he was looking over me. And I have like a 25% loss of lung capacity. I came out of it. I had to learn how to walk, talk, and do everything all over again. When someone dies, you know, people shy away from you. And my bit of advice to everybody is go up to them, tell them you're sorry, and tell them a little story about something he did with you or for you. And it really makes you feel warm inside. You learn so many things that you didn't know about him, and it'll make both parties feel so much better.